Give me a minute.
Yeah.
You need to sit down.
And it's a shame you brought your mom down for here because of your actions.
I don't know what I would do if I lost him. Whether it be for a year or 2 years, I just don't know what I would do without him.
Take a deep breath. Yes, ma'am. All right, calm down. That's okay. All right, just take a deep breath.
Nothing hits harder than watching a mother or a wife beg for mercy in Judge Boyd's courtroom. In today's video, emotions run high, families break down, and reality hits like a gavel. These are the moments when love meets the law.
To be better and to not do things like that. Clearly, you don't want to look at me when I say that. So,
According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 6 years. There's a $1,500 fine. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication, and they're taking 2 cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objections to the PSI report?
No.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, please, Judge. Angelique Martinez.
All right, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Martinez, how are you related to Rudy?
Rudy is my husband.
And how long have you been married?
We got married in 2014. That makes 8 years now.
There was a young, I believe 12-year-old when this happened in the vehicle with Mr. Martinez named Cyrus. Who is Cyrus Martinez?
Cyrus is my daughter. It's his daughter.
His daughter? Biologically?
His biological daughter.
Does she live with y'all in the home?
She does.
Is she your biological daughter?
No, sir, she's not.
And how long has Rudy had custody of Cyrus Martinez?
Since Cyrus was maybe 1 year and 2 months, 1 year and 4 months,
That
very close to a year old.
okay. So at about a year old, Rudy took custody of Cyrus.
Yes, sir.
What was wrong with the biological mother that didn't have custody of Cyrus?
That choice was made just because he had a steady job and he was able to better provide. He could take care of her.
So he took care of her on his own
Yes.
from her about age of 1 year old.
Mhm.
How old was Cyrus when y'all got married?
Making me do some math here. So. Okay, so we got married on my 21st birthday. She's maybe 6 or 7.
And so from her age of 1 year old to her age of 6 or 7, is it fair to say Rudy raised her or was raising her by himself?
Yeah, it's fair to say that.
Was her mother a part of her life that you know of?
Not often.
Has her mother been a part of her life since y'all have been married?
Not often.
And so Rudy was the main influence in raising Cyrus from the time she was 1 year old. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And how is Cyrus doing in school these days?
She's doing really well. She is excelling in basketball. Her grades are A's and B's. She has many friends.
She play any other sports besides basketball?
She also does track and field. She does soccer. And this year she's even trying out for the football team.
Okay. And was a lot of that attributed to Rudy and what he has done raising her through the years?
Like as far as her interests?
Her interest in just doing well in school and in athletics.
That's their bonding time. That's how they play together. That's how they spend most of their time together, is playing ball outside. You know, it's only natural that she fall into these things.
And so I believe since this offense occurred in July of last year, which is a little bit over a year ago.
Yes, sir.
And Rudy's been on house arrest since then, correct?
Yes, sir.
Has he been able to participate with Cyrus in the past year?
No, he hasn't at all.
How has that affected Cyrus and Rudy?
For both of them, it's been devastating. Rudy is Cyrus's #1 cheerleader. That's she wants to be there. He's always been at her practices, at her games, at any function. In the stands, cheering her on. You know, you can hear him above all the other parents.
Does he ever miss any of her activities or games
No.
or something? To let me finish answering,
Sorry.
asking before you answer. Does he ever miss any of her activities, games, practices, any involvement whatsoever because of his own interests?
Absolutely not. She is his greatest interest.
When this incident occurred, I'm sure they talked to you about it. The incident that he's charged with here.
Yes.
Cyrus and Rudy talked to you about this, right?
Cyrus and I haven't really talked about it. Rudy told me more or less what happened.
I'm just trying to-
Oh, nice.
Just go check.
No problem. It happens.
And Ms. Martinez, talk briefly about yours and Rudy's relationship through the years. How long have you known him?
So I met Rudy when I was 13 years old. He's been a good friend of mine all these years. It took us a long while to get to dating. And I have had the pleasure of watching him grow as a human through these years.
And tell the judge about some of the good qualities about Rudy and his relationship with you and with Cyrus.
So he's an amazing work ethic. He is my best friend. He keeps me laughing. I don't know what I would do without his company. He really is the one who keeps me sane on a daily basis.
Has he always kept work? Has he always kept
He's
employment?
always kept employment,
Tried to support y'all financially?
has always helped support us financially.
Have you ever had a problem with him going out and being out all night with the guys and stuff like that where he doesn't come home or doesn't fulfill his responsibilities at home?
No, he's just not that kind of guy.
Never any of that.
Never any of that. He's always been a good husband to me.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the judge about Rudy before she decides how to sentence him?
And Your Honor, I'm just wanting to ask you to give him a chance. I know that this situation is very bad, but we also have a 14-year-old girl at home about to be 14. It's her teenage years. She needs her father. I need my husband. I need his help supporting our household. I need my friend. I don't know what I would do if I lost him. Whether it be for a year or 2 years, I just don't know what I would do without him.
I'll pass the witness.
Any questions?
Just a few, Judge. Ms. Martinez, what's your maiden name?
It's Kendra.
So are you the same Angelique Cantrell that is the victim in the case that Rudy Martinez was given deferred for? So back in, I believe, 2012, he was placed on deferred for choking, strangling you, right?
That is the charge.
Was he a good husband when he did that to you?
That's an isolated incident. And yes, still was a good husband.
No further questions, Judge.
Just as to that issue, that was in 2012, I believe he said, correct?
I do not remember the exact year.
And aside from that one incident, or before that incident, had he ever assaulted you or been violent with you in any way?
No, he hadn't.
After that incident, has he ever been violent with you, physical, aggressive with you in any way?
No, sir.
Has he ever been violent, aggressive, physical with his daughter Cyrus in any way?
Oh, absolutely not.
Pass the witness.
All right, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much for coming down to testify and giving me some insight into him. Thank you. All right, I'll call your next witness.
That's all. Rudy Martinez. And I guess I'll actually call Rudy Martinez.
All right, can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. All right, you can lower your hand. You're gonna need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state your name for the record.
Rudy Martinez.
All right, defense.
Rudy, on this incident, you were driving, you had your daughter with you, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now that the seriousness of the charge, the fact that a firearm and shooting a firearm was involved. Do you understand now, looking back on that, that you handled that situation in a wrong way?
Yes, sir.
Tell the judge though, what you were feeling at that moment when this incident occurred. What led to that?
Just the feeling of utmost distress and fear. I didn't really know what to expect during that whole altercation. But other than that, just trying to keep my daughter safe.
No, what do you mean by keeping her safe? Why did you feel that that was necessary to keep her safe?
Well, I mean, around where I live, a lot of things like that go on every day.
Like what?
Driving recklessly, people firing guns randomly, and just the simple fact that that's just where my head went so fast. I had my kid with me, like I said. I know I shouldn't have handled it that way, but that's just where my head went after miles of being followed and messed with on the road. I tried to even veer off to the right side is the only way on that particular road that I can get off of. And when I stopped my truck, it just it went on. And then that's where after a while ended. And then I just went home.
Did you feel that the complaining witness was being more aggressive with her vehicle, putting your vehicle in more danger than you were to her at that point?
Yes, that was the whole point of me even considering pulling out my firearm. That was only because I almost lost control of my truck twice, and that was enough for me to start reacting the way I reacted.
Did your emotions raise because you felt your daughter's life was in danger?
Definitely.
Would you handle it differently now that you can see back on that situation with a level head and not emotional, that you can't just resort to pulling out a firearm in incidents like that, regardless of the danger it's causing on the highway?
Yes, sir. Definitely. Through this entire process I've been through since it happened, I can definitely see a better way to handle situations like that when they occur.
Is there anything else you want to tell the judge before I pass the witness?
Just I apologize for my actions, and I know now what I did was wrong. Just would like a punishment, I guess. So
Pass the witness.
Mr. Martinez, did you see the victim pull out or point a weapon at you?
you
And you said that she was, I guess, where was the victim's car in relation to yours? To the left of you or to the right?
several places. So I was in front, she was in back, almost the entire chase, and then she moved to the passengers. Well, the remainder of the chase, that's my daughter's side. Until then, my mind was going 1,000 miles an hour. But no, I couldn't see nothing except when she would go enough back, and when I look in my mirror, I would see the bird 2 times and it flipped me off. But other than that, that's all I saw was him.
So when you fired the gun, you fired it across your daughter, not the passenger one, right?
No,
Okay, how did you fire
the
it?
driver side.
So how did it hit her vehicle if she was on your daughter's side of the vehicle?
Because we had parked. So off 281, there's access roads you can leave to and go somewhere else. There's also like a median, if you will. If something happens to your vehicle, you can put your car there, people can continue to drive.
Why did you park if you felt that you were in danger?
Why did I park? To see if she would keep going. At the time, again, for the record, I didn't know that this was a female, if it was a car full of boys or one pump or whatever. I didn't know who was in the car. That's my point. I was hoping that they would just leave me alone, because 2 times, really bad, I almost lost control. And the second time, I was able to notice the traffic.
So Mr. Martinez, did you call the cops?
No, I was trying to get my phone. I couldn't get my phone because it went under my seat.
So you couldn't get your phone, but you could get a gun.
My gun was closer to me.
And then, so the officers determined that the bullet went from the back of the vehicle, back right to the left. So how can you explain that if she was following behind you the entire time?
When I had stopped, she kept proceeding on the access road that lead off the highway.
Okay.
So after that, that's when I had discharged my weapon.
So when she was driving off is when you shot her?
No, she wasn't driving off. She was parked. She stopped and I stopped. Nothing happened. Now this is seconds of me thinking. My head's going 1,000 miles an hour. Like I said, I had my kid in the car. So that's when I discharged my weapon. When we were both stopped. She wasn't driving. I had a driving car. That's not.
How many shots each fire?
One round, one.
All right, we'll pass witness.
Nothing further.
I have a question. Well, I have several questions. My first question is, since you had the prior choking case, which was a family violence case, and I'm sure there was an affirmative finding of family violence in that case. And with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own any weapons. Let's start with, why did you have a weapon even though you were not supposed to have one?
Oh, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to have one. It had been years already since that happened, and I didn't know that I wasn't able to have firearms.
Then my other thing is, I always read the stipulations very well. And I always read the PSI report before sentencing. One, I reread the stips just to refamiliarize myself with things. And then, of course, I always read the PSI. And this is what the PSI report says. And it says almost the same thing as the stipulation says. They contacted the victim and she provided a statement. She stated a vehicle driven by the defendant cut her off while she was driving her vehicle. Because of this, she honked her horn at the defendant and she flipped the finger at the defendant. The defendant became very angry at her and the defendant began waving a handgun and then shot the handgun towards the ground. After the defendant shot the ground, she exited the highway and the defendant shot at her again. She was very scared because the defendant could have shot and killed her. The defendant did shoot her car one time and she has a bullet hole in her car. Now, that's from the PSI report. And this is the narrative from the stipulations. While on uniform patrol, I was dispatched to the above listed location for a shooting in progress. Upon arrival to the location, I contacted the victim alongside Officer Sanchez and asked her what occurred. The victim stated she had just got off work and was heading home, going southbound on US Highway 281 North. Victim stated when she entered the highway, suspect, that's you, had cut her off and he and the victim began to flick each other off. Victim then stated the two began to yell at each other through each vehicle's windows. Victim stated suspect then began to drive aggressive and show signs of road rage. Victim stated suspect then began to drive in the right-hand shoulder, pulled up to the right of victim's vehicle, brandished a silver firearm and shot at the ground one time. Victim then stated she took Warsburg Parkway, Nakomi, Rhapsody southbound exit from 281, and suspect continued to stay on the southbound main lanes of US Highway 281 North in the right-hand shoulder. Victim stated suspect then brought his torso out of the driver's side window, extended his arm with the firearm and fired what victim believed to be 3 or 4 shots at victim, with one bullet striking the back driver's side panel of victim's vehicle and exiting the opposite side of the back right wheel well. Victim then stated she continued down US Highway 281 North southbound access road, immediately entered the highway at the next available entrance ramp and continued to drive to the reported address. After gathering the incident details, I viewed where the bullet made entry on victim's vehicle. So I'm trying to figure out what is your issue, because I don't know how flipping people off, and people can be mean when they drive, because people don't realize your goal in driving is to get from point A to point B and get there alive. And hopefully everybody else gets there alive. And guess what? When you get there is the time you were supposed to be there. So whether you need to be somewhere at 2 p.m., if you get there safely at 3 p.m., then that's fine. So I don't understand how flipping each other off or throwing the bird or whatever was doing, how that results in brandishing a gun. And based upon what I'm reading, and it doesn't matter to me if it was a female or male in the other car, but based upon what I'm reading, you knew there was a female in the car, because based upon this, you all were jawing back and forth at each other.
That's what's false.
Okay.
Right? That's what's, there's no way we could talk to each other. There was no way in that traffic. And then
Okay,
she
well,
said,
when I say talking to each other, I know you all are not, hey, how's your day going? Or, forget you or whatever. But I know that when people are driving and they're angry, people can tell that you're shouting at them. You may not know what's being said. I'm sure people were shouting profanities. So I'm not saying there was a conversation where you got the noun, the verb, and the adverb and the adjective, and it was a complete sentence. But from what I'm reading, there was shouting going on.
I mean,
And you're saying no.
I mean, she was behind me the whole time. I wish there was camera footage that I was told that was out, but I mean, if there was camera footage, you could see that she was behind me the entire time for miles, and then got onto my daughter's side, which I tried my best to speed up and maneuver or do whatever I could to get her on my side. It wasn't happening. You know what I mean? And I didn't cut her off at that specific light. To keep going straight, there's only a one lane to the left for everybody else that wants to take that lane and get off and get on 281. She was on her freaking phone and didn't go for my truck is a huge 1500 truck. It's huge. It's at least two of her cars.
And you were upset that she was on her freaking
No,
phone.
no. Was not upset at all. I was having a very good day. All I did was went around her and proceeded to go. That's all I did. I just went
Because she was on her freaking phone.
I proceeded to go. I just took the light because it's a very.
But it was
light.
because she was on her freaking phone.
That I could see.
I mean, I know that ticks some people off. Sometimes I see people driving and they're on their phones and I'm like, you need to be paying attention to the road, but I don't flick them off.
I didn't honk at the lady or nothing. I just went around
Okay.
and went through the light. Then she honks at me because we're at a still. Her car is in the intersection, but we're moving. It's just her car's now in the intersection. But as we proceed to get off the ramp, that's when the honking starts. I see her flipping me, I flip her, and it just went from there.
You see her flipping you.
She gave me a double bird.
And then you flip her.
Yeah.
So you knew it was a female because you
No,
saw her.
I only saw hands. That's all I saw was hands.
Okay.
I couldn't see nothing else but hands.
All right. Again, not that it matters that it was a female or a male. I'm just trying to get a clear picture of where you're coming from. All right. Is there anything else you wish to say? Defense, any more questions?
No more questions, Judge.
All right. State, any more questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So the court will hear argument. State you're opposed.
Yes, Judge, we're asking you to deny his application. It's obvious his version of the facts don't make sense. This could have easily been a much more serious case where we're dealing with some sort of serious bodily injury or even death if the angles of the vehicle had been different. He brought up a good point when he just testified that he was in some sort of big truck and she was in some sort of sedan. And so his supposed concern that she was running him off the road additionally doesn't make sense along with everything else that he said. He's been given a second chance before. He was placed on deferred for that assault choking. He obviously has some sort of anger issue because, I mean, not knowing the facts of that case, in order for someone who's in a relationship to get to the point to where they're choking their significant other, they have anger issues. And he displayed that again in this particular case. So we do not believe that he should be given a third chance, and we're asking that you deny his application.
All right. Just one moment. Who's that in the corner? Does he need a UA? Sir, what is your name?
So it's Brandon Wright.
Yes. What's your name? You.
Yeah, you.
Michael Duzer? Jensen? Do you need a UA? So we can see if there's anything in your system? All right, so you're gonna have to wake up. A lot of people didn't get any sleep last night, but they're still awake and alert. So no more going to sleep in court. Do you understand? All right, we're back on the record. All right, defense.
Judges, there's no doubt that this was a bad situation. These road rage things are scary. I hate road rage situations, and this one ended in the worst possible way, and there's no way to minimize that. He sees that now. There's no excuse or no justification for what happened. But the issue is, do we send him to prison for it or place him on probation? I think the fact that you don't have someone in front of you who's not taking care of his kids, his family, working. In fact, he took custody of a 1-year-old little girl that girl's mother didn't even care about by himself through 6, 7 years old. And then with the help of his new wife till now, that girl is flourishing. AB student, involved in athletics, loves her father's there for her, is the perfect father by all accounts, and I don't see any reason why we would disbelieve the witness we heard from. Because of that, I think there's conditions of a probation. Making sure that addressed this anger issue that he would have. Maybe a psychological counseling. There's in the pre-sentence report you've seen with bipolar issue that maybe some medication. But there's more use to society outside with his family than there is to lock him up. And I think there's things we can do to protect ourselves from him doing this again. It's been 10 years since that other offense. He shouldn't have any offenses, I don't, but still. It's not like he's picking these up every year. It's not like he's up to no good. Smokes marijuana, but other than that, no drug history. He's not a drug addict, not picking up DWIs. I just hope that we can see to keep him with his family. He works every day, and he's sorry about what happened. Fortunately, no one did get hurt. If she would have gotten hurt, different story. It's alarming, I know, Judge, but I hope we can see to it that it's not a prison case right now. He'll be on a short leash. This court, I know, especially if he messes up, there's always that as a future consequence.
All right, Mr. Martinez, I'm going to deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 4 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. Time and money to run concurrent, taking consideration County Court Cause number 664-677, 664-679. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your, and I'm sorry, there's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you review it and understand it?
Yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, good luck to you. Again, Ms. Martinez.
Thank you all for inviting me to be here today. I actually did have a hard time coming in, so I do appreciate you reworking with me with that. You know, I didn't realize how much this was actually going to impact my life. I do want to say thank you though, because it did change me. It clearly taught me to be better and to not do things like that. I'm sorry if that's hard for you to hear. Clearly you don't want to look at me when I say that. So I understand how hard it could be to own up to things, but I do wish you well, and I do hope you the best. At the end of the day, I know people only do things because they could be hurting or they could be going through something. So if you are, you're in my thoughts and prayers. Again, I didn't realize the impact this was going to have on me, but it has made my life a lot better because of this incident. I quit my job because I did not feel safe going over there to that side of town. But because of that, I was able to get a better position, and I'm working in a higher remote company, and I'm making more money than I ever have been. So again, I do appreciate the things that you have done for me. I'm sorry for the things that you're going through. Again, I actually had a really hard time making it here today, but because of the actions that you made and the support that I have at home and the support that I have through my loved ones, they did encourage me to be here. So I do wish you well, and I do wish you the best. And again, I appreciate you guys taking the time to allow me to be here as well.
Thank you. Please announce for the state
Andrew Perry Sadelman.
defense.
Sean Sheffield, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
We're here today for sentencing. In each of these two cause numbers, you entered a plea of guilty. The PSI was waived. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. The state is opposed to your application. And Miss, if you need a chair, we can have you sit in a chair.
Would you like a chair?
Well, I see you have a cane, so I want to ask you to raise your right hand. Is there any objection to the court not asking that of the witness?
I have no.
Yeah.
I'll take care of
Do you
it.
solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Linda Reyes.
Linda Reyes?
Linda Reyes.
All right. You may proceed.
Ma'am, how are you related to Miss Allen?
I'm her mother.
Okay, and you understand why we're here today?
Yes.
And it's your understanding that your daughter has been charged with several crimes.
Yes.
You understand that,
Yes, I do.
and you understand we're here for punishment.
Yes, I know.
And we're asking the court for probation.
Yes, I know.
Can you tell the court why you believe that it would be best for your daughter to have probation?
Probation or arrest at home or anything, because she's the only one I have to care of me. And I live in the country, which is I have nobody else that's her. And then I also want to let you know that I'm a Jehovah's Witness and I'm very, very religious, and I would like her to if possible, stay with me, house arrest, whatever, comply, shop between classes. So apparently she had a problem with that. And then also monitor whatever, because I really need her at home, and so does her son that's gonna graduate in June. And she worked hard for him, and he was a varsity football player. She also has two older daughters that one went to Park, was a cheerleader, and she was a cheerleader for Garden Word, and her other daughter's a successful computer tech. So she's lived for her children. And during this time that she was on her little thing was because she made a bad choice of being with a bad man. He is now incarcerated for like 20, 30 years. Thank goodness, because he was very abusive. And then came COVID. With COVID, she got behind. And then she got evicted twice this last year, which was hard to get back on her feet. So apparently she chose a lot of bad choices. So, and I'm not financially stable to really help her. So, all I ask is for you to please have some mercy, find her some way to stay home, because I.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
You need to sit down.
No. Because I need her at home. And so does her little girl. She has a little one that's 9 years old. I cries for her all the time, and she's very close to her mother. So if you please, find some way or that she can stay home and get punished. And I don't care what you do to her, as long as she just be there. I live in a mobile home in the country to top it off. So, I have nobody, and I have nobody wants to go out there. And so I really need her at home, and I could, plus she has a liver disease, and she has a heart problem too. Her father died of this liver disease at 60. So I'm very, very worried about her being somewhere that she might not have the care she needs, because she was given a lot of care at the Bexar County, so I just plead and
Thank you.
and
So,
ask you, okay, and being this the week of the Passover of forgiveness and sins,
All
and
right.
take that into consideration.
all right, thank you. Thank you so very
Uh-huh.
much for speaking to me and giving me some insight into your daughter.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other witnesses? Oh, no, there's no need to apologize. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Selena.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge Hull. Thank you. Ma'am, you understand why we're here,
Yes, I do.
okay? And we're here, you're asking the court for leniency,
Yes.
and you're asking for probation.
Yes, no matter how long it is, I'm willing to take probation or monitor or anything. I've taken numerous amount of classes,
Okay, and regarding that, you have taken
taken parenting classes, I've taken theft classes, I've done AA, I've done anger management, I've done a lot of different classes. Anything I could take, I've taken. I'm in the process of getting my GED.
and these are the certificates that you did,
Yes,
and these were done while you were in custody.
yes,
Okay, so you took it upon yourself to do these classes.
yes,
Do you believe they've been helpful?
yes.
Why?
It's making me look at life differently. In this last year, I've made a lot of bad decisions. I take full responsibility for my actions, and I apologize. I'm willing to pay any restitution I would need to pay. Again, I need to take care of my mother. I have my son's much across stage. I don't know if you read his letter, but he's much
Yes.
across stage, and that's a big, I guess, goal for me and him. I've had 2 kids who graduated already. One of them graduated from college. So I'm just asking you to please take in consideration all these things. I do have SCAT, which is a heart disease, and congestive heart failure, and I have a tear in my coronary artery, and I have cirrhosis of the liver. I've been in the hospital here at Bear County, and to get me to the hospital when I was having a heart attack recently, it took them 2 hours. So it is a fear. And I did have a heart attack in Bear County. I tried to get those medical records to you. They wouldn't get them to me in time.
No, I'll take you at your word.
With that, Judge, I'll pass the witness.
State.
Said that you understand why we're here.
Yes, sir, I do.
Why are we here?
Thefts that I've committed, and I was in a really bad relationship, a very abusive relationship, and he just had me do things that is not, I know I have a record, but I haven't had a record. I haven't committed a crime in over 10 years. And up until these is what I mean. Prior, I finished a 2-year probation, and 10 years ago in 2015, I finished a 2-year probation without any problems. I had lost my job during COVID and had got evicted and started hanging around, dating the wrong person, I guess. And committed these crimes that I should never have committed. I'm truly very sorry for them, willing to pay any restitution back to them, willing to do whatever it is that I need to do for y'all's forgiveness. Like I said, I take full responsibility for my actions. I'm not blaming anybody or blaming anything. I'm taking full responsibility for them. I just want leniency to get some sort of probation monitor, whatever it is that they do.
So here, I have a few questions if there are no objections.
So yeah.
So when you were with this gentleman that you said you were with,
Mm-hmm.
who was taking care of your mother?
My kids were there.
All right. And when you were with this gentleman that you say you were with, where were your children? Were your children living with you?
Yes, they were with my mother.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Were
Yes,
they living with you?
Yes, ma'am, they were.
All right. So you had this man in your life and you said your children were living with you
Yes, ma'am.
and you were living on your own with your children and this man.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
But no, the man did not live with me, and he lived in his own house.
Okay.
He did not live in my house. I got evicted.
All right. So let me just tell you what my issue is.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a rash of thefts.
Yes, ma'am.
April 24th, 2024, HEB. I can understand HEB. You know, it's against the law, but maybe you're trying to feed your children, right?
Yeah.
Then on October 7th, 2024, Sephora. October 11th, 2024, Sephora. October 8th, 2024, Ray. October 18th, 2024, Sephora. November 16th, Sephora. November 19th, Ray. December 27th, Target. You have no less than 8 thefts,
Yes, ma'am.
constant back to back.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to grant your application. I don't think probation is appropriate for you. In each case, the court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. The cause numbers will rank concurrently, and I'll recommend the therapeutic community.
So I got 2 years.
Yes. Did you review the documents entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
I don't know.
It's the trial court certification. It's telling you whether or not you have the court's permission to appeal these cases. Do you understand that?
Do I have?
It's this document that you signed.
Okay,
All right. Did you review that document with your attorney?
I believe so.
Well, I mean, either you did or you did not.
Your Honor, this was
A long
month-
time ago.
a week or so ago, so she may not remember exactly what the document.
All right.
That's your signature.
All right, who's the mother on William Harper? Come forward. No, Mr. Harper, you can remain seated. Yes. All right, Ms. Harper.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, can you get this to me? I want to explain something to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Take a deep breath.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, calm down. That's okay. All right, just take a deep breath. All right, so this is what I want to explain to
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
And this is just based upon my background. All right. I've been a defense attorney, and I was a defense attorney for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
I was a prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes as a defense attorney, you will have a client who has some mental health issues, maybe, right? Or either you have a client who has some intellectual issues, right? So in situations like that, you always want to talk to parents because maybe parents can give you some insight into them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But then other times you have clients who don't have any of those issues. They're adults. They don't have any issues where, oh, I need to talk to your parents because obviously I'm not able to communicate with you.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
not the issue. Now, this is what I know.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that parents, when they have children, their children are always their babies, right? No matter if they're 25, 30, you always still see them as that little boy or that little girl. And you feel like you need to be there, right? To give your input. What I can tell you is attorneys necessarily don't have to talk to parents or family members. And the reason why they don't is because they're adults, right? And they're in adult court.
Yes.
Now, sometimes we get people here who are 18 and parents want to be 100% in it because they're 18. And even though technically they're adults, they still sometimes are in the child realm as far as the way we see them. So what I can tell you is in this court, I always require defense attorneys to speak to state, defense attorneys to speak with their client. You can see sometimes when people come to me, well, we're just getting a reset. Do we really need to bring that person out? And I'm like, yeah, we need to bring that person out because I want that person to know what's going on with their case. I want them to know that their attorney showed up and their attorney is actually here.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I want you to do is, if you need to go get a drink of water, you can get a drink of water. Nothing is going to happen with your son's case while you're outside the courtroom.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So take a deep breath. If you need to walk around, and you can come back into the courtroom, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Miss Moore.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've worked so hard these past 3 years to just become a better person. I've, went to school. I have 3 months to complete my bachelor's in software development. I've held a 3.8 GPA. So if I knew, if I could talk to, when I had committed the crime that I did, if I could talk to that person, I would tell him, if I was able to tell him that, 30% of the world's billionaires are engineers, I never would have made that mistake.
Well, no. Here's the thing. You're not making mistakes. You're making choices. So what I want to know is why you choose to violate condition number 2. And this is not your first motion to revoke. You were here back in August for a violation. So I can tell you right now, I'm not inclined to terminate you on SAT. So you need to explain to the court why you are not completing what I'm asking for you to complete while you're on probation. Because if you're not completing, you can do great things. You could say, oh, I'm on probation, and not report, not do anything, and just go live your life, not reporting, getting another job, providing for your family. You can do all of that, but you still have not done what's been asked of you by the court.
I didn't know how serious, I didn't know how, my actions, I didn't know that it could lead to this.
No, yes, you did. And let me just tell you how I know you did, because you were here before on a violation of condition number 14. And I told you specifically what I just told you now. Do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 14? Do you understand by pleading true to violation condition number 14, I could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility? So this is the second time you're hearing this. And the other thing that I know, and I want you to internalize what I'm saying before you continue with your testimony. I tell everybody who comes through here, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? I tell everybody that comes through here, if there's an issue with probation and you feel like probation isn't addressing it, let the court know and we'll address it. So do not start with, I didn't know about this, because I know you know, because I told you. All right?
Just wasn't like developed, like I wasn't the same. I wasn't the person that I am now. I'm an actual adult now. I understand now. I didn't understand then, because I was a kid. In my mind, I was a kid, but now I'm a completely different person. The things that I did then, I wouldn't even think about doing now. I would go to probation. I would go and I would do all that, not just because that I did it and this is what's happening. It's just now I realized that that's what I need to do, and I would be able to get that done now. Or I just didn't know any better.
Okay, Ms. Ebony, you're going to speak loud into the microphone. So,
All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give? Raise your right hand.
Oh, sorry.
All right, that's okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Ebony Eldridge.
All right, make sure you speak up because the court reporter has to hear.
My name is Ebony Eldridge.
All right.
so Ms. Eldridge, you are William Harper's mother,
Yes, sir.
and you understand that we are here for what's called a motion to revoke probation. The probation department is asking that Mr. Harper, your son's probation, be revoked. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that his probation expired over a year ago.
I found that out today, sir.
Yes. And what is it that you would like to tell the judge about William so that she can make her determination as to what she's going to do, whether she's going to terminate him unsatisfactorily or sentence him? Can you address Judge Boyd?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you as well. I would like to say to the court, I'm a mother first, but I'm also a well-abiding citizen, first of all. My son has made some choices, because you can say mistakes when they're toddlers because they're learning. As being a late bloomer is what I like to call him, he's still learning. My son, I moved him here to San Antonio. I made the mistake of moving my son here to San Antonio, and I fought myself for that. Because before I moved my son here to San Antonio, my son was headed to the military. My son was in ROTC. My son was scholar in football, headed to college, went to Wayland, came back to San Antonio because of me. I made the mistake in telling my son not to go into the military. And to this day, he still wants to go to the military. And I made that mistake because I was scared. The only reason that I responded the way I responded to you today, sir, is because I'm scared for my son to go to prison. My brother was murdered in prison. So it sits different with me when we talk about prison, because my brother was murdered there. My son has made the mistakes that he has made. And I tell you right now that I'm not okay with the things that he has done. I'm not okay with the people that he chose to navigate and put himself with. I'm not okay with that. I'm not even saying dismiss it. I say start it over, make him complete it. Because in my house, we don't finish like that. We don't do it like that. We don't conduct ourselves like that. Because we're not those type of people, and that's not how you was raised. We was raised to do what we were supposed to do. We was raised to finish it out and to walk with our head up, because that's the way and that's how God wants us to be. You made the choice. You tied my hands. You tied my hands as your mother, but I'm here begging you, ma'am, to have mercy on my child like Jesus had mercy on us at the cross. I know he's messed up and I know he's not the perfect kid. I know he's done some things, but I even said to you, ma'am, if you're the probation person, I'll make sure he's there. I'll make sure he does what he has to do. I get that he's an adult, and I experienced that firsthand, being told, I can't talk to you, ma'am, because that's an adult. I experienced it firsthand when I found out that my son had messed up on probation, and I'm calling the probation office. I'm saying, hey, I'm his mama. I'm on y'all side. What can I do to help you guys to make sure that he's doing what he's got to do? And they told me, there's nothing you can do because he's a grown man and we ain't got to talk to you. I hang up and I call back and I say, hey, listen to me, please. Before we even start the conversation, let me pray with you. Because we need God to lead the conversation. Because I need you to understand, I'm not against you, but I want my child to do right. And if it means I got to stand there with him, then I'm willing to do that. Because I don't want my son, I won't throw him away. He's a smart boy. He has things going for him. Do we need a little help? Yes, ma'am, he does. Am I asking the court to help my son? Yes, ma'am, I am. Am I going to do what he won't do? Yes, ma'am, I am. He needs help. He needs it. He wants to help. He wants it. And I tell you, if you give him a chance, you're gonna do right. Or I'll go upside your head myself. Because you're gonna do right. You have to do right. This right here is not it. My brother died in prison. And it pains me. It pains me. I'm tired, baby. You got a 2-year-old daughter. I can't even bring your daughter to see you. I won't bring my granddaughter to sit in a jail to have to see her father. You got a home. And that's where you're supposed to be, helping me raise your daughter. That's where you're supposed to be, at home. But we're here. We're here. We're here. But I won't leave you. I won't leave you. I won't leave you. I just can't leave him.
All right.
But I'll stand.
All right. Any more questions? Defense?
No, Your Honor.
State?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. It's a shame you brought your mom down for here because of your actions. Probation, what are you requesting? Well, I can tell you all, I'm not going to terminate Unsep because he hasn't done anything. So there are two choices. And this is the court will do. Well, before I say that, has he done anything on probation? State, you're asking for 18 months. Defense, you're asking that the probation be terminated Unsep. I'm not going to terminate him Unsep. These are his choices. 1, I can find him guilty, revoke him. I'll sentence him under 1244 to 1 year at the Bexar County Jail. Or 2, I can find him guilty and I will place him on regular probation.
Please do regular probation, please.
Okay. All right. This is what the court is going to do. Court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. The court is going to find you guilty. What I'm going to do, state, is there a recommendation? Oh, this is a state jail felony. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 5 years. I'm going to want 300 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. Once he's completed the parenting classes, 150 hours will be deemed satisfied. And then you are to get your degree or either some sort of trade certificate. And once that is done, the remaining of the community service will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be regular reporting. All right, is there anything else from either side? We're going to go off the record.
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to say this again, and I've said it to you before, and I say it to everybody. If there's an issue with probation, and you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come to the court to ask. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. And what do you mean by that? Like, come to the court? What do you mean?
Oh, your attorney will explain it to you. People have just walked in and said, hey, I'm having an issue with probation,
Okay.
and we'll address it.
I-
But do
I'll
not
let-
come back to me for failure to report and not doing what you're supposed to do. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the way you were over there crying with your mom, stop breaking your mom's heart.
I know, I'm so sorry.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay, this is for you. Also,